Action!
Everybody looks forward to this every Friday. Ransom's here from our sister station, X1075.
Yes. Super excited to be here.
Glad to
like
have you
always.
here. It's always fun. All right, talk to me about 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's kind of a scary kind of thing, right?
You know what? It's more of a thriller than it is a scary movie.
Okay.
10 Cloverfield Lane stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Michelle, John Goodman as a guy named Howard, and John Gallagher Jr. as Emmett. And off the bat, this isn't a sequel to 2008's Cloverfield. It's simply a movie that takes place in the same universe. So if you've seen the first movie, you already know what's going on in the world outside of the bomb shelter, but the majority of the film actually takes place inside this bomb shelter. The movie opens up with Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character. No dialogue whatsoever. You just know that something is wrong. She's been dumped, or she's breaking up with her boyfriend. She's leaving this guy. And while she's on the road and listening to some music and ignoring his calls, she gets in this really bad accident. And when she wakes up, she is in a bomb shelter. She doesn't know what's going on there. She just knows that she has been kind of kidnapped. She feels like she's been kidnapped, and she wants to do whatever she can to get out of this situation. She later meets Howard, who claims that he saved her. He's like, look, you don't want to go outside because what's going on outside right now is going to kill you. The air is toxic. We don't know if it's the Russians. We don't know if it's nuclear. We don't know if it's aliens. He's a bit of like one of those doomsday preppers, and he's a little bit out there, but you get the sense that he actually knows what he's talking about. But throughout the movie, you don't know who to trust.
Interesting. That's a great premise for a movie, because you have no idea if you were unconscious and you wake up and you don't know what's going on. Although I'm the kind of person, I don't want to be the last person standing if the world collapses with a nuclear thing. I don't. Why do I want to live in a bomb shelter the rest of my life? But that's not talk to me about how John Goodman is in this movie, because I think he is a good actor.
John Goodman is fantastic. And, he actually said about a week or so ago that he feels very unappreciated in the world of Hollywood. And I think that this is one of the most underrated actors out there, even in bad movies. Like last year, there was The Gambler that came out. That movie wasn't good, but John Goodman was great in that movie. He had one of my favorite scenes in that movie. He's fantastic in this movie as well. He is menacing. You don't know if he's the good guy. You don't know if he's the bad guy. He's scary at times. He's really nice at times. So it kind of takes you as the viewer on a loop as well. You're just like, well, I don't know. I mean, this guy kind of seems like he knows what he's talking about, but he also seems kind of weird. So
I like that premise, though, because you don't really know. And we're not going to do any spoilers. So
no spoilers in this review.
No spoilers at all. All right. So 10 Cloverfield Lane. Any blood, guts, things the kids should be concerned about?
Well, this is a PG-13 movie.
Kids would be bored anyway, right? Because it's a lot of dialogue, I would imagine.
There is a lot of dialogue, but the pacing is actually really, really good. So, yeah, I mean, there is some blood and stuff that's you do see throughout the movie. It's spaced out. I don't think that it's anything. If you have teenagers and you want to take them to a movie that's gonna, kind of creep them out, I don't think it'd be too bad for them. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a movie for the adults to go out there and watch.
Okay, so the new Jennifer Garner movie, God, that wouldn't be good, but this would be. I'm just kidding.
I actually didn't get to see that movie. They didn't have a screening for the Brothers Grimsby either, which I was really excited to see.
Interesting. So talk a little bit about that Ransom Palooza, because sometimes they don't screen movies, and is it because they're nervous about what the reviews might be?
There are numerous reasons for that. It's normally a bad indication if they don't screen it everywhere, but there were screeners around the country. So if there were no screeners whatsoever, then I would be concerned. I mean, the Brothers Grimsby is getting very low reviews. If you check on Rotten Tomatoes, I think right now it's at a 42%. So it's not doing great. And I think that the Jennifer Garner movie is actually even doing worse. But yeah,
that's Miracles from Heaven, right? It's called,
Normally not a good sign when you see that they're not doing screeners for these movies. Sacha Baron Cohen, though, I talked about this last week. I really like this guy, but I feel like he is kind of putting himself into a hole with his whole acting career. He does these really outlandish comedy movies, but he's actually a really good dramatic actor. I remember the first time that I saw him in a dramatic film, I'm like, oh no, how is this going to end? And I left very surprised. He really, really surprised me. I would like to see him get back to that, because I just feel like people are getting tired of what he's been doing with his comedies.
How much can you do with the slapstick stuff? At some point, it gets a little bit boring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so what? So you recommend 10 Cloverfield Lane? Yes.
Love it. Yeah, It's actually, last time I checked Rotten Tomatoes, it is fresh at a 93%.
Wow.
I left very, very impressed. And of course, I did hear some people talking about how the ending was a little bit hokey. They didn't see the first movie, so it does kind of take you for a ride, and it gives you like a really fun twist ending. But because I really enjoyed the first movie, I really liked the way that this movie ended.
Okay, what's coming up next week?
Allegiance, which is the final movie in the Divergent series. Didn't read the books, but
Haven't seen even one Divergent movie. What's the first Divergent movie? Did I miss?
it's called Divergence.
Okay.
So it's kind of, like a Hunger Game-ish society kind of movie. It's all set like it feels very much the same. It's just not the same quality as the Hunger Games movies.
Okay, so we'll talk about that next week. Ransom Palooza on
Absolutely.
Twitter. Follow him. We'll speak to you next Friday, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks a bunch. I'm Heidi Harris.